Alrighty, everyone, welcome back. So, yesterday, hockey started, the 23-24 season, and yeah, the three games were great. I'm not here to mainly talk about that. I'm solely here to talk about Pittsburgh versus Chicago, but more importantly, Connor Bedard. Was his NHL debut, or is himself as a whole being over promoted, or maybe even being overhyped? I want to say, and before you come into the comments saying, "Oh no, he's not being overhyped," I want to bring some context into it first. The past couple of weeks, ever since the preseason started, not even just the regular season that's coming up, the preseason. Ever since the preseason started, Connor Bedard has been very promoted a lot by the NHL. And just the overall promotion team there and Chicago. And do I blame them for doing this? No. They be posting every single preseason highlight Bedard had, every single, stat line. You would just see everything. And especially when, like, he scored his first goal of the preseason that was an empty net goal, people, or the NHL and the Blackhawks promoted the hell out of that. And I thought it was funny because it was an empty net goal. And heading into last night, and it was even talked about before and after the game. Mostly before, because Vegas had their cup raising celebration. I actually, honestly, wasn't awake for that. I went to bed, but because school's a thing. But you look at what happened before. They were promoting the hell out of this thing during that Nashville Tampa game. They would talk about Bedard every single intermission. Even during the game, every time he was on the ice, he would be talked about. They would put cameras on him every single time. When he got his secondary assist, it was a whole thing. And my question is to y'all: are people overhyping him, or are they overpromoting him? My answer is, to us casual hockey fans, not just casual, to us hockey fans is a better description. Yes, he is being overpromoted. I'm not gonna lie to you. You may hate my take on this, but I am tired of hearing about him. Genuinely. And that's not any disrespect towards him or towards the Blackhawks. In fact, even Bedard said himself that, like, he said he'd be sick of himself if he heard how much he's being promoted in the media. Which, yeah. And I mean, and from a content creator standpoint, if I was just a overall hockey fan, I would agree with everything that I've been saying. But from a content creator standpoint, from someone who's been following the game and promoting on this for almost 4 years, I would say that they're doing the right thing here by promoting him a lot. They're not doing anything out of the ordinary, anything strange. I would imagine, and I wasn't around for Matthews' debut. I wasn't a fan back then. But I asked some people who have and were, and they said it was absolutely brutal. Because Toronto, obviously, they're one of the biggest Original Six teams. You look at that. Of course, he's going to get a lot of media attention there too. McDavid's debut, I'm sure, was a big thing. Which, yeah, it's not surprising that they're giving him this much recognition. And, I understand why people are tired of hearing about it. I understand why people are just tired of hearing Connor Bedard, but it's good for the game. I didn't see the TV numbers from last night, but I'm sure they did better. That Pittsburgh-Chicago game, I'm sure that game did better than the other two that were last night. Absolutely. I could be wrong, but I'm almost 99% sure that they did better than the other two. So, and the reasoning for that is obviously Connor Bedard. And, it's good for the game to have a guy like him, drafted into the NHL by an Original Six franchise, even though, like, you could say, oh, he should have went to this team and that team. The lottery's rigged, whatever you want to say. It might be, but I'm kidding. But anyways, it's good for the game. It's good for overall revenue. It's good for money. People are buying Bedard jerseys. People are tuning in to see, oh, what is this star rookie gonna do at the NHL level? And last night he looked good. Like he looked pretty good last night. I'm not saying he had a bad game. And was playing like Shane Wright or Juraj Slavkovsky out of the gate. No, he looked good. Like, and especially too, you get an assist in your first game. Doesn't happen often. It doesn't. I mean, you look at previous years with top rookies. You got Austin Matthews, obviously 4-goal game. McDavid did well in his debut. Obviously that's a factor. And those first overall picks typically do pretty solid. But for overall rookies, it doesn't happen often. You don't get your first point in your first game very often. So for Bedard to do that, it's great. But yeah, overall, like, I think people, they're complaining about it, but they don't really take a look at the other aspect of the game. Like, yeah, I'm a hockey fan. If I'm looking at this from a hockey fan perspective, especially like a Philadelphia Flyers fan perspective, like how I am, I would be like, yeah, get this damn guy off my feed. I do not want to hear about him anymore. I would absolutely be saying that. But from a content creator perspective, and I understand the game in that way, it's a good thing. So yeah, let me know your thoughts and if you think Connor Bedard's being promoted. Overhyped, I wouldn't say necessarily. I think he's still going to be a great player. I've seen some people be like, oh, no goal in his NHL debut. Bust. I don't really know if you're joking or not. But come on, it's one game. He plays against Boston tonight. I'm sure there'll be some headlines out of that. And I probably will be watching that game too. But anyways, thank you all for watching. If you enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe on down below. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I got no notes for this video. No nothing. I just went off the top of my head. But regardless, thank you all for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.